Hey there, it's your friend Patty here, and today I'm going to just talk to you a little bit about making calendars and order forms for your food business website. In this case, I'm going to show you our charcuterie business website form ordering, and thought maybe this might be helpful for you or anybody who is looking to try to get your ordering and your scheduling all done in one click, basically, instead of having to have someone get a hold of you first, find out if you're available before you can actually schedule and purchase. They can just do it all online. So anyway, this lesson, I'm going to show you how we do it all inside of our all-in-one platform here at the Charcuterie Launch Lab. Keep in mind that we can help you with any kind of food business that you have, but in this case, come on in. Let's show you exactly how this works so that you can coordinate your ordering and your purchasing all at one time without having people having to contact you ahead of time. This is really awesome. Let's go do it. All right, so now we're going to get into talking about orders. And so you can see we've got some order buttons on these pages. So where do these go when people click? For all of your different landing pages we've created for your holiday, you have an option to add basically order forms. The order forms are built inside of a calendar. So the difference between what we offer and, say, other companies such as Shopify, is that we have it built in that the ordering happens at the exact same time that people set up a schedule. So look at it this way. If somebody comes to your site and wants to order one, they have to first make sure that you're available. That has to be number one, and then they can order. You don't want them to order and then go and see if it's available on that date, because you may not be available to create it. There might not be, you might have be booked for the entire day. So it's really, really important that you have these two working together, and luckily our software does this for you. So what that means is we have order forms that are built inside of calendars. So if I click on this right now, it's actually going to go to the next step in the funnel. That is an order page. This is not done yet, so I'm just showing you it's going to go here. And this is where your calendar is going to show up, where people can order. And you'll have different options here. You'll have a different option for the different boards that you have available, right? So our first step is to go in and show you what, in general, your calendars look like. So if I come here, I'm actually going to type in Christmas here and see the Christmas calendars we have set up. We have created 3 different versions for you for the holidays. So each one of these is going to need its own menu. If you want to change the menu up, we basically set up the menus a little bit different for all 3 of the sizes, but again, you come in and put in whatever you want. So I'm just giving you an idea of what these menus look like so that you know what the steps are here as far as, getting this whole thing set up. So I'm actually just going to go to this first one. If I want to review what this looks like, I'm going to actually change this and activate it so I can see. Nobody has access to it, so I'm not worried about it. But I need to see a live version of it so I can show you. And if I click here, I can go to share this and copy it. And then if I go up here, I can open it up. And you can see that I have a calendar with and you can't see the form yet because we have to set this all up so that it works. But right now it's not set up. But it's basically, this is what each one of the order forms will look like. It starts with a calendar. And after they get past this, and over here is kind of the menu. You can put this menu on another page too, which I'll show you here when we get to later into the website area. But right now, the menu is here, so people can look at that. You can actually add images and all that on here as well, which we'll get to. But they will go to something similar to this, right? And this is basically just the dry version of the calendar, right? So what we're going to do is we got to do a little setup on this, but inside of that, let's go in and actually do an edit on this. You can see what we're doing. I'm going to go to edit. And it's at this point, you can see we've got pre-built calendar set up for you. So it's at the top area, we can add a picture of the board. We have pre-built images, as you saw on the website. You can keep those if you want to, if you're brand new at this and never have ever created a board, never took any pictures of it or anything yet. But if you've already done something along these lines, I recommend you try to get your boards in here that will look similar to the sizes if you're going to do something like this. Now, I want to reiterate, when you're just trying to get into this initially, I don't think you should go crazy and have 10 zillion different products. You really should maybe just have one standard board that's in 3 different sizes for this particular holiday. This is why we're setting this up for you, so you don't have to go and create a big old website with all these different products on them, because it's going to take you time to do that. Our goal is to have you get your first board online, as fast as you can, right? And if you just tap into every holiday that's coming or every event, so we have Christmas, we have New Year's coming up. Now we are in the fall of 24. We have, after that, we have Super Bowl, we have Valentine's Day, we have St. Patrick's Day, we have Mother's Day and Father's Day and all these holidays. So realistically, you should be busy all the time, on top of the fact that you can do special events, you can do birthdays, you can do anniversaries. So you could set these up for all these different types of events and holidays so that you're busy all the time. And you could be, conceivably. So our goal is to get you set up, but don't go crazy. And if you just have landing pages that are set up for each of these separate holidays, off the bat, it's going to help you get started quick. Okay, so that's why we did this. So for now, we're going to focus strictly on Christmas, because we're in Christmas season here. But just keep in mind, whenever you're watching this training, it just depends on, think about the next holiday coming up and try to focus on that one, okay? So we have the service details here, and you can put in any information in here. So if you want to upload a photo here, it needs to be basically square, 180 by 180. So let me go find one, and I'll put it in here. All right, so if you have something that depicts it as close as possible, great. If not, I would zero in really close, just get some close-ups of the ingredients. So when you finally do create a board for it, you can then take a picture of that and then replace it in here. My suggestion to you is to go create, if you want to really get serious about these boards and do it, a great depiction of what your boards are going to look like, is go out and buy ingredients. I really don't want you to spend a lot of money on this, because you're going to do it maybe you'll do it for family, but go out and buy the ingredients for the, a larger board. You don't have to do a big old table or anything like that, but just a larger board. And then start with the larger board, take a picture, just create one. It doesn't need to be holiday yet. Just create one that is standard. That way you can use it for birthdays, or you can use it for just standard whatever events, not holidays. Then go get some decorations and start decorating this. If you can get a year's worth of decorations very cheap, which you can do, then just throw some of those decorations on so you can give them some idea of the kind of decorations. You could just it's kind of like a Christmas tree, where you would just decorate this board for every holiday and take a picture of it, if that makes sense. So at least for the upcoming holidays, you can have them all ready to go. So could you get stuff for Super Bowl and Valentine's Day? The next 2 or 3 holidays coming, create a board and get those ready. Conceivably, you're not going to be marketing boards for Labor Day in December. So you're not in a mad rush to get your Labor Day boards out. You're really just focused on the next couple of months. Remember, in earlier training, I said that we have provided you marketing to help you market 5 weeks in advance of each of the major holidays. You certainly can create more holidays too if you want to, add more in there, but the major holidays, we've got the content for you, so that's all done. So what we want you to do is start marketing them, but that means you got to have something to promote, right? So if you can get some version, and if you just can't do it and you don't want to spend the money now, just get a close-up of them and then put in the menu what you're going to provide. So we're putting sizes in here, we're putting in what exactly is included, and we've added some stuff in here. If you want to use this, go for it, right? Okay, and then the other thing I wanted to point out is that if you haven't already checked into the Charcuterie calculator and the Charcuterie menu creator, that we have provided you a prompt for through ChatGPT, that you definitely tap into both of those. I'm going to put links here in this training so you can get to that. And it's pretty cool. So the calculator is an Excel spreadsheet, so you can just put in amounts. I've got training on it, so you'll see it when you get to it. but also the ChatGPT menu creator. So we've got a prompt. If you don't have an account with ChatGPT, you can get one set up. That's for AI. Just set up a free account and then use the link that we've given you. And so what it's basically doing is helping you build a board. So it's going to ask you a couple of questions. What's the event? How many people are attending? And if you have any special particular food or flavor theme that you want, whether it be like a sweet or savory kind of board. So it's going to also create you a little menu as well. So I think it's pretty cool, and it'll help you kind of get started, and you can always edit. It's just something to get you started with. So if you check that out, just click on that. I'm not going to spend time showing you this because there's a little training that you'll get when you go to that link to access that. So make sure that you've done that, okay? So that, just make sure you've got access to that because you want to get your menu added to your account in each one of these. That might help save you some time. So there's that. The next thing is your availability. Well, then we're going to go down here. We've got groups set up for each one of the holidays. Your custom URL, you're just going to kind of, what is this? It's the, you can change what this says. It's going to pull in some weird number for you because that's pulling in from what we've previously created. You can come here and put, you really don't have to worry about this unless you have somebody working with you. Just make sure you've put yourself on here. Okay, that's all. And if you want, you can, meeting location could just say pickup on here. You could put that pickup, or drop off or delivered or whatever you want to put. So delivery included. How about we, God, my typing is so bad. Delivery included, partly because I got my hands on the wrong keys. You can change colors if you want to have it more, whatever the holiday is. All right. The availability here is, that's where we need to say, okay, when are we available? So we have to go in here and say, well, what's going to make sense for me? So you put in what's going to make sense for your availability. If you're going to block dates, you can block them. So whenever you think you're going to be able to deliver is what I would put in here, those windows of time that you can deliver. So put in whatever you want. And if you want to like say a holiday's coming up and you really do not, or you're going to go on vacation, and you can actually block specific hours or add specific dates in here. So that's real simple to do. So if you're going to add specific hours, you can come in here and go, well, when am I available? I'm not going to be available from 8 to 5 on that date. So just kick it out of the menu altogether, or this schedule altogether, so it doesn't show up, you see. All right, now the next thing is the forms and the payments. We have special forms that we've created to get the information that we need for you, and those are in the forms area. The next training is going to go through this, show you how those forms work. So we have chosen a form that you'll want to add a form in here that's specifically for the board. So I've got one already set up called board order form. So when you're coming in to set these up, make sure that you set it to that. If you want to change what the form does and all that, I'll show you in the next training. But right now, pick out board order form. Redirect URL. This is what happens after somebody purchases. And I want you to leave this here because we're going to go fill out these custom values with all of your links as soon as we get all this done. So it's automatically going to pull it in. So you don't have to worry about that. We're not going to talk about Facebook pixel IDs right now. That's basically tracking to see who's been coming to your pages. Now, your payments. Come down here and click on payments. By now, you've already set up your Stripe account. If you come here and you don't see payments or the ability to do this, it's because you have not set up your account with your billing service. So make sure you've gone back and watched that training. But once you're here, you can now go, how much do I want to charge? I'm going to go let's see, this was the medium board, so I don't know. Let's just pick $179. Put whatever you want. Accept partial payment if you choose to, like a deposit or something. Totally up to you. I would not. I would do 100% fully ready to go. Enter a description that would be displayed as the user, informing them about the payment. So you can say, full payment due, refund, no refunds within 24 hours or something. You can put something in here you want to. Full payment due at time of order. Refunds allowed. Outside of 48 hours or something, something you want to put in, totally what you want to do. You can test this. So I'm going to leave it in test mode right now so I can show you how it works. All right. Okay, so let's move on to the notifications. This system has pre-built notifications in it for the calendar area. I'm going to encourage you not to use this. And that's because we already have a workflow that's going to set up for every order that comes in. If I have you do this, you're going to have to set this up for each one of your calendars, and it's going to be a pain. So I'd rather you not do that. You don't need to use any of this. So I'm going to say you're going to disable. These should be in there already disabled. But I'll talk to you more about the workflows when people sign up. If they're not disabled, just come into here and you can see. If you see anything green up here, just come in and shut it off. It shouldn't be on, but just in case it is, make sure they're turned off. I'm going to talk to you about how the workflows, which are automated, basically email and text campaigns that we have pre-built for you, are already set up in here. So, but just so you know, the workflows are going to do a number of different things, pretty much everything that's in here, where it's going to make sure that it's confirmed that they ordered. It's going to send a reminder. It's going to let you know that somebody ordered. So you really don't need to use this. And the reason is just going to be too time consuming for you, because you'd have to set this up for each individual calendar you have, and it's going to just take too much time, and you don't need to, because the workflow is going to kick in and work for all of them. So just make sure everything's shut off here for right now. You can always come back and do this later. If you feel like you really want to do this, you can. Also, you could integrate all this with your Outlook or your Google Calendar if you choose to. If you have people working with you, you can also assign contacts to that person. They have to be in your system for that. And again, if you choose to have a cancellation or rescheduling policy, you can have all this stuff set up in here and what that looks like. So come in here and say, okay, well, if they're going to reschedule, they got to do it within a certain time frame. So you can set that up by days, or I would do days for sure. I mean, at least 3 days, something along those lines, either rescheduling it or canceling it if you're going to do that. So make sure you set that up so you're not in, running into refund issues, and make sure that it's clear in your ordering pages, when you're filling out those menus, what the refund policies are, so that people aren't, confused. And I can show you some other spots to put that into as we're going through getting this thing fully live. But I would totally prevent people from canceling at the last minute. And if they do, you're going to take their money because you've already gone out probably and spent the money to get them going, right? So make sure you get that done. All right. Customizations. This is where the widget, the cover image, you can add like your logo or something along those lines for it. So how about I go and add a logo in here and see how that looks. All right. So if you have your own personal logo, you can do that. I just went ahead and added in this one. It's just square, just so we can see what it looks like. Okay. So, all right. So I'm going to go ahead and just hit save on this. And I want to go back out and just show you a couple things about hit close. All right, for all of the different, you'll notice here that I have groups that are set up here, right? So the groups, if I go over here, are going to be important because these groups are actually going to end up creating a full-blown service menu for you. So when I want all of the Christmas boards to show up on the Christmas menu, I want to grab all the link to the groups. All right, so I'm going to show you, I've got these 3 in the group, and if I go to groups, I have the Christmas boards. You see there are 3. Okay, so the key is I want to show you what this looks like when we get them on there. So if I click here, and let me go back to Christmas, what I want to do is activate all of these, because this isn't going to look, it's not going to show up if I don't do this. So I'm going to activate that calendar, and I'm going to activate this one as well. Activate those so I can see what it looks like in the group. And this is how you can see how you can edit, what it's all going to look like, right? So if I go to groups now, if I go here, I can go over to the far right side, and the group itself now has its own link. So if I copy the scheduling link, I can come up here and paste it in. And you'll see that all 3 of the boards will show up. So yeah, it's not overly fancy right here for the 3 Christmas boards, but partially because we have to get images in on some of these, and I'm suspect that I've missed an image on these. So let's see. All right, so we've added, this is basically just the standard widget that's going to show up on the page. It's the order page that I showed you earlier. It's just the widget, and I just wanted to grab it so you could see what it looks like. So eventually this is going to end up on the page for ordering. So even though it looks kind of plain, it'll look better when it gets over on the ordering page. Okay, so that's how that works. Now, the other thing I want to show you is the service menu. The service menu is actually all of the boards that you have available. And we can create a service menu, and this has to be done per person. So I'm just going to go all, we can go all holiday boards if we want to do that. And you can write a description here if you want to. And I'll put all holiday boards. This is basically going to be the URL for it, right? See what it looks like. Now I'm going to go selecting the services because I know these are all the holiday boards and these are the ones that are currently active. That's why I only see these because I activated those. I can select all the holiday boards. If you click on this, you can see all 3 of these. I don't know if I didn't activate all of those either. But right now, all the ones that are active are going to show up here. So I'm going to pick all of the holiday boards. Eventually, every calendar you have with the order forms on it are going to show up here and you'll be able to pick them out. So you can create more than one service board. So you can see I could also arrange this. So let me do that, or service menu. I can create more than one service menu. So let me go back. So if I want to create another menu that's strictly just special event boards, whatever. So let's say I have, anniversary boards or birthday boards and all that in here. I can just so I'm going to call this special events. And then, okay, so you don't need that. And then here you would select the services. Now, because I don't have the other events in here, I can't do that. But I could just go, I only want this board, right? And I can click off everything but that one and then hit save. And so that would create that special board, menu. It's basically the menu, okay? So let me close this out now and show you. You now have a URL specifically for this menu. So that specific menu, you could add all the boards to it, which is what I'm going to end up training you to do. You're going to create one that's going to have all the boards on it, everything. So you have that for your drop down on your site. So you will create that. And so I'm going to go here and let me just grab the scheduling link so you can see what it looks like when we go there. And now you can see all the boards. I got the Christmas boards there and the Thanksgiving board. So if people click, they're just going to be able to get down. There's not very many on here, so there's not a lot happening on this. But this is basically an embedded widget that will end up on the page we're going to send people to when we create the landing page for all the boards, right? So this is where they'll go, okay? So when you are creating all the boards, and you won't do this until you activate everything, so make sure that you get all your calendars in. And so you've got your calendars first, and then you got to create your groups in order to create the service menus. Okay, so now that we have the boards done, I'm actually going to show you how to test it, right? So I'm going to come to the holiday board, and we're just going to open up one of these boards. So I'm going to go here to share it. We come down to the end, we go to share, and let's just copy and click on that and open it up so we can see what it looks like. And here's what it looks like now. Isn't that awesome? So you've got somebody who's going to come onto your site. As long as we're in the test mode, we can test this. So make sure that it's in test in order for you to do this, and that you've got your payment processor set up in here so you can test it, right? So now this is what it will look like. This is just the widget that's going to be on a page. Okay, so don't worry about how it looks here because it's going to be loaded into a page. So it'll be looking much prettier, but we're just testing out the actual calendar. All right, so what I'm going to do is just pretend like I'm going to order a board. So let's pick out a date. I'll just say we're going to do this let's do it for New Year's, and I'll click on here and pick a time, and we'll just pick 2 o'clock and hit select. It's going to take us to the page. That is the form. So I showed you the form that is added, and this is a form that can be 100% edited. So this is what that form looks like currently. So we're just going to put some fake stuff in here. So let me take a minute and fill out the name, and okay, I just filled that out. Now this form says acknowledge the order amount, and we're doing this for a couple of different reasons, but we're going to have the user put the number back in on what they're going to be getting charged. This way they know, but it also helps us fill out our forms inside of here so everything operates right. So do not remove this. I think this is really key. No matter what happens, don't remove this when I go and show you how to edit these forms. And then we have a choice here for pickup or delivery. It's totally up to you how you want to handle this. If you're always going to be delivering, then we'll go in and edit the form so this doesn't show up. I'll show you again where to do all that. But If you're going to have an option like this, then they'll just be able to pick one or the other, and it will show up in your account so you'll know exactly. This is then the address for the event, so probably some address needs to go in here. We'll just put in some sample so we know that it works. And then put in Tempe, AZ, 85555, whatever. Okay, if this is a birthday, which if it's just a standard holiday, it's probably not going to get marked this way. So we're just going to go not applicable, which means this is optional to fill out. But if this is here for you in case you want it, because that way you'll know if you want to put any particular decorations on based on the years married or how old they are or anything like that. So I'm going to leave that blank right now. Actually, I'll just put, I'm not going to put anything in there right now. So that's not what we're doing with this one. Anything else we should know? I'm just going to put, testing notes right here just so we can see everything come in. Okay. Now, in order to proceed to finish testing this, we're going to need to click this box or you're not going to be able to go forward. This area here is going to load in automatically from the form, and when we get over to the form, I'll show you how that works. And then down here is the payment information. So again, if you haven't set up your payment processing tool yet, make sure that it's done. But once it's done, make sure it's in test mode right now, and you can see that it's testing here. So what you're going to do is put in a number here that is a fake number for us to test. It's always going to be the same number. It's going to be 4242424242. So it's 4 versions of 42, right? So let me put that in. And then the expiration date is anything in the future, but I would just pick like next year. So, because I've noticed that if I put something in here a little bit too far out, then it gives a problem. Any date next year and any number here, okay? And then any number here. So you can put that in. And then the code, zip code can be anything too, right? You're just testing it, okay? So make sure you got everything filled out, because if you do not, it's not going to order. It's not going to work. Okay, so the order here, we're going to click order, and if it starts to spin, it's doing its thing. Now, it should go to the next page that we've created in here. That is basically the confirmation thank you page for all orders. Okay, so it redirected to the thank you page that we told it to do. Now, again, this form is totally editable. It's just a page on your site, so it's all editable, and we'll focus on this later, but I just want to let you know that it's here, okay? All right, so that's it. And then I do also need to show you where to put these links and how to get them set up so that they are going into your landing pages in your website. So we'll go on to that, but this is done. Ta-da!